Oh, this it's gone again. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. So, welcome everyone to the Bhagavad Gita class, our Sunday mornings, our spiritual Sunday mornings. Okay, so let's start with Kirtan. Kirtan is a very important part of the class. It helps us to prepare our consciousness so that we can receive the wisdom that is to follow. So let us absorb ourselves in Kirtan. Let us think of the Lord, glorify the Lord by chanting His holy names. So I'll sing and I'll request all of you to repeat after me. We'll do Radha, Jai Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braj Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braj Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braj Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Shama Sundar Radha Shama Sundar Radhe. Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Gaur Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya 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 Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. Hare Krishna. So let's start with the auspicious prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurudmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone to our Sunday morning Gita sessions. It's very good to be amongst the sincere set of seekers. Just 1 second. Yeah. So, we dedicate this presentation to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON. All thanks to Prabhupada that we are here. It's all thanks to him. And all thanks to Prabhupada that homes have become temples, right? With the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra going on. All thanks to Prabhupada that temples are not just meant for old people, right? Actually, if you look at it, spirituality has no age. As spiritual beings, we are supposed to be spiritual right from our birth. But thanks to this current Kali Yuga, that it's supposed to be, it's not looked at it that way, but it's thanks to Srila Prabhupada that he has made sure that temples are not just for old people, it's for everybody. He has given us the Bhagavad Gita, which is for everyone. And today's topic actually is also very important to understand: ritual versus spiritual. So today's topic will strengthen our understanding or support our understanding of the Bhagavad Gita. And of course, also we, as always, will quote shlokas from the Bhagavad Gita. Right? So this is very important for us to understand rituals from a scientific perspective. So first, let us understand what is bhakti. You can repeat after me. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam
Bhutaram Yajnatapasam,
sarvaloka maheshwaram
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram,
suhridam sarvabhutanam
Suhridam Sarvabhutanam,
Jnatva mam shantim richati.
Yatmanam Shanti.
Somebody say the translation.
A person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wishers of all living entities, attain peace from the pangs of material miseries. Bhagavad Gita 5.2.
Okay. Hare Krishna. So I have a question. Whom does everything belong to?
Sorry?
Whom does everything belong to?
God. What?
Sure.
Yes.
This laptop belongs to the Lord.
Yes.
This chair, table, everything belongs to the Lord. Does the happy news which comes at the end of the month in our bank accounts also belongs to the Lord?
Yes.
That was a very loud yes. So from सब सोच लीजिए.
पर हम लोग फिर भी रोज गिनते हैं. Everybody.
So yeah, people who said yes very loudly may be in trouble.
Witness.
Yeah. So everything does belong to the Lord. So does his body also belong to the Lord? Yeah. So what is the Bhagavad Gita perspective on this? So Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 shloka 4. It says, Bhume rapo nalo vayu kham mana buddhi evacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakritir ashtadha. Right? So everything, earth, water, fire, air, ether, these are my separated energies. Krishna himself is saying, right? and mind, intelligence, false ego. So these are all material elements, and all of that belongs to the Lord. So, frankly, we can't say that anything belongs to us. Everything, including this body that we are in, is the Lord's. So, let's take an example, right? So, this is my laptop. Say somebody just walks away with this at the end of the class without asking me. So, what would that person be called?
Chor, thief.
Sure, right?
Yes, yes.
Why so? Because the person didn't ask me before taking it. So, right now, what did we say? Everything belongs to the Lord, right? So, if we use anything in this material world without offering to the Lord or without acknowledging the Lord, then what should we be called?
Thief.
Thieves, chore, again, right? So, in fact, there's a very interesting pastime that I've heard. So, once there was a thief, and he came and to the parking lot of ISKCON, and there was a devotee's car which was parked there. So the thief tried to break into the car. So this devotee's car system or whatever, they had some, there was some system that as soon as the door would open, the audio system would turn on. And like all devotees, this devotee was also hearing. We loved listening to Srila Prabhupada's lecture at any time when we are driving or doing anything. So this devotee had a lecture of Srila Prabhupada playing, which was on a similar topic. So he was trying to explain this concept. So the moment the door was opened, audio, you are a thief. So this thief got really worried that there's somebody in this car who knows I am a thief. So he just like closed the car and he waited there for the devotees to come because he thought he's in trouble. Somebody's figured out. So then he acknowledged that I was trying to. I'm a thief. As soon as I opened the car, like there's somebody in the car like started saying, "You are a thief." So now this devotee, of course, he took the advantage of preaching to this thief and giving the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, as we've learned from Srila Prabhupada, to this thief. And this thief actually became a devotee as well. So point being, like, if we take anything, use anything in this world without acknowledging the Lord, then we are thieves. Right? So we were looking at what is bhakti, right? So here is the definition. If everything belongs to the Lord, everything should be used in the Lord's service. Right? So this is the definition of bhakti. Everything belongs to the Lord and should be used in the Lord's service. Now, sometimes people say, I don't believe in this bhakti shakti. Like, this is not for me. Do you think this is optional?
No.
Bhakti is not optional because this is the eternal truth. Everything belongs to the Lord. And we've just proved. If there is an owner and if you use their things without acknowledging them, then you're a thief. So this is not optional. Bhakti is mandatory. We don't understand it. And like, for those who would like to think it is optional, then they are being as good as thieves. So how do we understand this practically? Right. So there's an age-old tradition. Now we often don't follow it. Like if we, Dadi ji is sitting here, so she would be able to tell us that in the old times, whatever we got, we would first offer it to the Lord. Even if you were getting like a new pair of clothes for yourself only, but first you would offer it to the Lord and like thank the Lord and take it as prasad. That was the tradition and the age old culture, right? Everything that you got in life, smallest to the biggest, first offer it to the Lord, then accept it as prasad. Whatever it could be, gadgets, anything. Yeah. So here we are trying to, what are we doing through this tradition? We are trying to acknowledge the Lord. We are trying to acknowledge the Lord. So religion versus spirituality, interesting topic. So what is religion? What is religion?
This is personal. अभी कोई किसी को मानता है, कोई किसी को मानता है. This is very personal religion.
Okay. But कुछ definition होना चाहिए ना. It's a heavy concept. It's a loaded concept. Devotion to God. Okay.
Yes.
Particular
Remember
belief
God.
or a person or a set of belief.
Belief. Yeah, belief or faith. So actually, if you type religion and you see at the what is the dictionary or like the synonyms or the dictionary meaning, you would find faith or belief. These words would
Yes.
typically come up. This is faith. It's a belief, right? But then some people can change their faith,
Yes.
right? Today, in fact, like conversions are very rampant. There's so many people who are Hindus who are getting, who are converting to Christianity, right? Or there could be forced conversions as well. Like last two classes we were talking about the lost wealth and how the Muslim invaders came, and when they came they actually like mass transformed a lot of like force converted people to Islam, right? So faith changed. So, but then that means that what, religion is not permanent, it would keep changing. Religion or dharma is something which can't change. It is something which has to be eternal, right? That's why, if you think, what is the name? Sanatan Dharma. What does Sanatan mean?
Eternal.
Permanent.
Eternal,
Yeah,
permanent,
permanent.
right? So, this is something which can't change with time, it is eternal. So, then let's understand what is so religion or dharma, what it means. So, what is, look at this picture. So, what is the dharma of sugar?
Sweetness.
Yeah,
Sweetness.
to be sweet. What is the dharma of chili?
Bitter. I
Bitterness.
mean,
Yeah.
Spicy.
So, what is our dharma as living beings?
divinity.
Yeah, but explain it more. What is
Loving
divinity?
everyone.
Hmm?
Loving everyone. Uh, First of all, humanity. First of all, do your duties.
Hmm.
Selfless
आपके जो घर
service.
की ड्यूटी है, this is also dharma.
Hmm.
अगर
Hmm.
आप अपने घर की
So
duties को
actually,
भी नहीं निभा रहे तो that is wrong.
So dharma, you rightly said, is so dharma of human beings, as given in the shastras, is to serve.
So to serve and to serve the humanity also.
So let's try and understand what does that service mean. So eternal dharma of human beings is to serve. That has been given in the shastras. Now, if we analyze ourselves from childhood, from our birth, actually we have been serving. We have been serving. Or let's look at our adult life, right? When we go to office, who are we serving?
Alright.
Customers, company, boss, whoever,
But उसमें
right?
हमारा interest involved होता है.
That's a good point. We'll come to that. Remember that point. I'll come to it.
उसमें हमारा interest है.
Hmm.
क्योंकि हमें अपनी family चलानी है.
Hmm.
Lot of responsibilities
Hmm.
we have.
Hmm.
We have to.
पगार तुम्हारी थी मेरी।
Uh, when we are at home, what are we doing? We're serving family
Family to keep
Yeah.
them healthy.
to keep them healthy, happy,
Yes.
right? So we are serving our family. Actually, some people contest that no, actually, that's not true, because a lot of times we are alone. So then we are not serving anyone. Is that true? Who are we? Yeah.
You're serving
Yeah.
yourself, your own body.
Yeah, your mind or your body or your senses, right? You know, yeah. I'm not sure about that part, but for most people, not in general. Talking about most people,
Basically, you're serving your own needs, whether it is mental, physical.
yeah, yeah. Or like even when you don't want to, like, have you ever noticed when you're alone? Just notice your thoughts. How many thoughts come? Sometimes it's actually you don't want those thoughts, but they keep coming, right? So then also you are serving your mind because there are these uncontrolled thoughts which are there, right? So this thought process is going on, right? Now, a lot of people actually, if they see, if you see, when they don't have anyone to serve, they keep pets. They keep a dog and they bathe the dog, serve the dog, take them out for a walk, right? अब वो देखे समझ में नहीं आता, dog is walking the master is walking the dog, but you get the point. So why so? Because our inherent nature and our dharma, like, you can't separate sweetness from sugar, you can't separate the need to serve from a human being, because that is our eternal dharma. So from time immemorial we are serving. Now let's ask this question. So we are doing what our dharma is, so we should be happy. We should be happy, but are we really happy?
No.
Now, let me ask a question. Most of you have been like coming to the class for at least 3 months, some of you for longer, for over a year. right? Have you noticed any change in yourself? Who all have noticed at least some change in yourself? Can you raise your hands? Yeah. So many of you have noticed a transformation. Why is that happening? Why is that happening? So when we are serving, we've been serving from like time immemorial. All the people around us, usme we are not finding satisfaction, but we're getting some satisfaction. The reason is because our object of service has been wrong. So we are parts and parcels of the Lord, and therefore our dharma is to serve the Lord. Now, Mataji, you may have a question, but is it wrong to serve family then?
No, it is not wrong to serve family.
Hmm.
Our first of all, our duty is to serve the family.
Yeah. So actually,
और
our
उसके बाद second, which I feel,
Hmm.
we are very much responsible to the society also. And उसके बाद आत्मा को परमात्मा से मिलाना है. That is our first aim.
So actually, if you
That
see,
comes to religion, and you can say coming near to the God.
Yeah.
क्योंकि आप भक्ति करते हो तो आपको वो चीजें आपके अंदर आती हैं.
Yeah.
और जब आप भक्ति भूल जाते हो तब आप परेशान हो.
so actually, I'll flip this around. So our duty is to serve the Lord, and because we are all parts and parcels of the Lord, if we start serving the Lord, we will also start serving parts and parcels of the Lord, but the attitude towards that service would be different. You would serve somebody because they are a part and parcel of the Lord, not because they are your somebody. Because, in those one to one relationships, you can never find happiness. So the Lord has to be at the center of every relationship of service. But the service is to the Lord.
That is right.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is what is missing. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we've seen the dharma definition. So first definition is that we, as parts and parcels of the Lord, our dharma is to serve the Lord. Right? The second definition of dharma has also been given as dharma tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. What does this mean? Actions which enable us to serve the Lord as told by the Lord. Now, somebody may ask, now what is told by the Lord? Bhagwan to hai nahi idhar. So how do we know what is being told by the Lord?
Isn't कर्म
Scriptures.
कर्म में है.
हाँ नहीं माता जी वो नहीं है वो नहीं है वो मतलब जो अंदर से आवाज आती है ना अनलेस वी आर कंप्लीटली स्पिरिचुअलाइज वो गलत ही आवाज होगी so therefore we have to actually read the scriptures because the Lord has left everything that he wanted to say in the scriptures, right? Now I'll give an example. Suppose, like we had last Sunday we had a function. तो we called प्रभु जी. अभी आप सोच रहे हैं कि हाँ ठीक है प्रभु जी आएंगे. I want to serve प्रभु जी. Like a lot of you like often ask कि हम कुछ बना सकते हैं क्या उनके लिए. So now let's say प्रभु जी is coming. You will be like कुछ service करना है. So I'll serve प्रभु जी. I will make करेला की सब्जी बहुत like my करेला का सब्जी is amazing. I've been told I make the best करेला सब्जी ever. प्रभु जी आते हैं खाते नहीं है वो बोलेंगे कि नहीं 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 आप बोलते रहे कि अरे दिस इज द बेस्ट करेला सब्जी यू कुड हैव एवर हैड बट ही डजंट लाइक करेला he doesn't eat karela so then the service is not happening. So what is the right way to serve? You ask. You can ask me प्रभु जी को क्या पसंद है करेला खाते हैं या उनके क्या क्या पसंद है बोलेंगे नहीं गुलाब जामुन बना लो वो खाएंगे. So then that is called service. So service as has been told by the Lord. It can't be like whimsical कि मुझे ऐसे लगता है मेरे अंदर से आवाज आ रही है कि ऐसे सर्व करना अच्छा होता है. नहीं, जिसको आप सर्व करना चाह रहे हैं भगवान को सर्व करना है तो हम उनसे पूछेंगे कि what does service mean to you? And he has given it in the Bhagavad Gita. So okay, let's move on. Now let's understand what is spirituality, adhyatmika. Right? So a lot of times people feel that anything which seems a little different from the normal is spirituality. Actually, that is what was happening in the West. When Prabhupada went to the West, there was this entire hippie movement going on at that point of time. And people were taking recourse to all sort of drugs and LSD and all of that. And they were like getting high and they were thinking this is what is spiritual. Because it just was feeling different from the normal. But that is not spiritual. But people have all concocted notions and definitions of what is spiritual. Right? If you ask people, what do you mean by spirituality? वो कुछ तो मम्बो जम्बो आता है फिर. Nobody has a clear definition. Actually, spirituality, the word comes from the word spirit. What is spirit? Atma. Right? Ideally, if you see, both religion and spirituality gets us to the same meaning. But today, the definition of religion has been degraded so much, and people are understanding it in such a wrong way that everything has become confused and misdirected. So today there are like so-called spiritual organizations. Right? We've talked about this in the past also. What are they giving us? Peace of mind. Right? So but bhumirapo nalo vayu khamana buddhi evacha. Mana buddhi. So mana is mind. Lord is saying these are my material energies. So peace of mind is material. So peace of mind, is that spiritual or material? Material. So that is also material, right? So then when we are saying organizations which are giving peace of mind, then they are talking on the material plane. They can, like, of course they're doing good work. But they can't call themselves as spiritual organizations. They can call themselves as maybe, mental fitness organization. Yeah, mental fitness organization, some physical fitness organization doing yoga sense. But it's not about the spirit soul, right? So we do certain things for satisfying our mind. Similarly, we do some things to satisfy the spirit soul. And that is what our spiritual activities or the rituals that we follow. So spiritual is anything connected to the spirit. Knowing about spirit soul or actions pertaining to spirit soul is called spiritual. This is the only definition. Baki sab jo happiness, peace of mind, ye sab, like this is all on the material planes. Peace of mind. Happiness, of course, like in spirituality, there is bliss. So you will get transcendental happiness, that is separate. But anything which has got to do with peace of mind, keeping your body fit, that is not spirituality. Okay. So coming to rituals then, right? Rituals, as I was saying, you do certain things for your spiritual needs, and those are called rituals. So, rituals are activities which help us connect to the spirit soul and to the supreme soul. Right? So, today we will understand the science behind these rituals. So, I'm sure a bunch of you may be doing some rituals at home, right? Now, why do you do those rituals? You may have picked it up from your childhood. Most of us would have picked it up from childhood. So we often asked our parents कि ये क्यों करना है. हमारे पेरेंट्स ने क्या बोला? क्यों करना है? ऐसे ही करते हैं. और क्या बोला? बड़ों ने कहा है. हमारे बड़े ऐसे ही करते हैं. तो हम भी ऐसे ही करते हैं. Now just imagine when your kids, if you want your kids to become spiritual and therefore follow these rituals, if they come and ask you कि क्यों करना है, and if you give them this answer, what will they say? करना है क्योंकि बड़ों ने कहा है. और गूगल करेंगे, और गूगल में तो सारा गलत इन्फॉर्मेशन है ऑन स्पिरिचुअलिटी. गूगल is not the best source, because it's just like a search engine. It picks up from what is there on the internet, and on the internet there are all sorts of opinions which are not bona fide.
I hope your boss is not listening to this.
That's why I clarified. It's still, the algorithm is working perfectly. Perfect. But it's just the like whole lot of junk information which is there.
But you can't talk about this Monday to Friday when you are at the Google office.
So that's because we are not going after the bona fide information, right? Now, what should we be telling the next generation, right? So that is the science that we would be learning today. That there is a reason that we do these rituals, and what is the reason and the science behind that. So this is the pendulum, right? And you would see people on the two ends of this pendulum, right? Sometimes people would swing towards knowledge, jnana yoga, and they will say ki no, 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 I believe in knowledge, I'm reading scriptures and all. Rituals and all is all sentimental, right? Then the other end of the pendulum is कि ये सब छोड़ो, knowledge तो और ये तो philosophy है, this is dry speculation. Actually तो दिल में होना चाहिए, जो दिल में है भक्ति वही है, मतलब हम rituals करते हैं, हमें पूजा पाठ करनी चाहिए, वही है real, like all this knowledge is not needed. कि कौन भगवान है, हम क्या है, who's supreme, who's not, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, हम तो पूजा करेंगे. So actually, if you see, both of these are extremes, and this is not the correct definition of bhakti. So bhakti is none of these extremes. It's a balance of both, where you're following rituals, but you're doing it with the right scientific understanding and understanding of the philosophy. So there has to be philosophy and knowledge, and there has to be rituals. So let's look at our current activities. Rituals as business. So let's understand what happens when we go to a temple, or like when people go to a temple. Right? The Ganesh Chaturthi, लोग बॉम्बे में बहुत celebrate करते हैं. So अब तो like it's become pan India. Like people celebrate Ganesh Chaturthi across. It's one of the most eagerly awaited festivals of communities. So we go to the temple or to the pandal and we say, Lord, एक पर्ची, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. ये सब हो जाए तो मैं 21 मोदक चढ़ा दूंगी, है ना? ऐसे होता है. So you think Ganesh, Ganpati, his mother is Parvati. She can't cook those modaks for him. Only when he fulfills those desires, 21 desires or maybe 2100 desires of yours, then you will give him 21 modaks and he will be like, ये किस मोदक के लिए तो मैं ये 2100 wishes I'll fulfill. But this is what happens when people go to the temple. Even in north and even in south, I think breaking coconuts. कि हम दो नारियल फोड़े ताकि भगवान मेरी मन्नत पूरी कर दे. Right? So the Lord doesn't need those nariyals, right? And like, what do? Lord, give me promotion. I will give you 2 coconuts. वो 2 coconut भी break करके हम घर पे ले जाके वो खाते हैं. Right? So that's what happens. So this is business, right? But even if you see if of it as a deal, तो deal भी तो कोई ढंग की होनी चाहिए ना. मतलब you give me everything and I'll give you like 1 box of peda. Lord, I'm looking for my next job. आप 1 करोड़ की जॉब लगा दो, मैं आपको 1 बॉक्स ऑफ पेड़ा दूंगी. लाइक कोई फेयर डील बोल के भी बात होती है, राइट? यू कांट से ओ आई वांट अ करोड़ का सैलरी बट आई विल गिव यू लाइक 100 रुपए का पेड़ा आउट ऑफ इट इफ दैट इज फुलफिल्ड. So what is a fair deal?
It's all in the bhav actually, because these rituals were actually meant so that people surrender to God, and they offer whatever they offer with full this thing, and still so the place is same, the temple is same, the God is same, but somebody goes with that bhav, somebody goes with the deed. So I think it's the bhav that matters.
Yeah, भाव पे भी आएंगे हम अभी. Actually, we'll come to the भाव. It's a good point. Just that reminds me that I should talk about it. But fair deal, अगर material भी हो तो at least 50-50. आप 1 करोड़ मांगे, ठीक है, आप भगवान को दे दीजिए 50 लाख, तो मतलब कोई डील बनी। अदरवाइज तो मतलब ये मटेरियल प्लेन पे देयर इज लाइक दिस इज नॉट अ डील।
देने के लिए
देने
सब
को भी
उन्हीं
क्या
का
देना है, ये किसी को गिफ्ट करना है।
बट हम वो भी नहीं दे पाते, है ना, बिकॉज वी नॉट इंटरनलाइज्ड।
I think the whole concept of bargain in itself is not
Yeah,
spiritual at all.
yeah, it isn't. So we are there to express our gratitude. Everything belongs to the Lord,
It's
and
just
yet He
only
has
gratitude,
given us
nothing
so
else.
much. He has given us so much.
Surrender yourself to God.
जो दिया है उसने उसका शुक्राना करना चाहिए बस।
Surrender भी बहुत loaded word है actually. प्रभु जी बोलते हैं मजाक में सर अंडर। It's a very lofty definition. Not today, maybe sometime we'll take up the definition of surrender. We had done it last time in the Gita class. So then other rituals, right? Sometimes there are concocted rituals for our own sense gratification. So a lot of tribals and villages, you will see like, there is a pratha of Bali, which goes on.
Animal sacrifice.
Animal sacrifice,
Very
right?
common.
So actually, it's not prescribed in our shastras. But if you go and ask the people, who are you doing this for? We are doing this to please the Lord. How can Lord be pleased when his own son or daughter, like that animal, is as equal a child of Lord as we are, is getting killed? So there's like from that point can't understand. Second, when you ask them what will you do, वो घर ले जाके खाएंगे. So again क्या हो रहा है? It's for our own sense gratification that we are doing it. So all of these rituals, everything is for our own self. So actually, let's analyze it in our own lives also. So what do we do on Holi? हाँ, फिर वो तो बहुत कम लोग आते हैं, नेक्स्ट डे सुबह एक्चुअल होली होती है ना,
Color.
है ना, म्यूजिक सिस्टम, एवरीबॉडी विल बी स्पिक एंड स्पैन इन वाइट, फोटोज अच्छे आते हैं ना उसके ऊपर कलर्स के, तो उसके बाद लाइक थ्रोइंग गुलाल एंड टेकिंग फोटोज फॉर इंस्टाग्राम, भांग पीना, राइट, dancing, all of this. Why is Holi celebrated actually? Why is Holi celebrated?
Holy God.
Hmm.
I mean, this Prahlad was the whole story behind the.
Can you talk about it? You know Prabhuji, the story behind it, or anybody knows?
बुराई
हाँ.
पर अच्छाई की
जीत
हाँ.
जैसे रावण
Rakhi Mata ji, yes.
जैसे रावण
Prahlad Hiranyakashyap, he was the son of Hiranyakashyap, and he had this boon from God कि ना आसमान पे मरूंगा, ना धरती पे, ना दिन में, ना रात में, ना अस्त्र से, ना शस्त्र से, ना इंसान से, ना जानवर से. और जब उसको ये वर मिल गया, then he became very proud that I am अमर, मैं मर नहीं सकता, then I am God. तो सब मेरी पूजा करें. Then Prahlad was born to him and he was very devoted to God. So he tried to kill him by different means because since he was not praying to him, his other subjects were also mean कि ये नहीं अपने बेटे को ही नहीं कर पाए. So then finally होलिका उसकी sister थी, उसको भी वरदान था कि वो जलेगी नहीं, वो कोई कपड़ा लेकर बैठती थी. तो she said कि okay, I will sit with him in the fire और ये मर जाएगा, मैं जब बच जाऊंगी because I have this boon. बट द अदर उल्टा हुआ, होलिका जल गई, तो इसके फिर हमारे और स्पिरिचुअल मीनिंग आते हैं. बट द पॉइंट इज, फिर हिरण्यकश्यप चिढ़ गया कि कहाँ है तेरा भगवान, सब जगह है, कहाँ है आप, मुझ में है, तुझ में भी है, मुझ में भी है, इस खंबे में है, हाँ इस खंबे में भी है. तो he broke that khamba pillar, and then Narsimha avatar came, and he was because नर से नहीं मरना था और जानवर से नहीं, तो he was half animal and half human. अस्त्र से नहीं, शस्त्र से नहीं, तो नाखून से मारा, दिन में नहीं, रात में नहीं, तो शाम को मारा, अंदर नहीं, बाहर नहीं, तो दहलीज पे मारा.
Hari bol. Very, very nicely narrated. Very nicely
सारी
narrated.
conditions fulfill करके and he killed him and saved
Nursing
Prahlad.
avatar.
So some of us went there. Ahobilam is the place where that pillar is still there, and from where the Lord appeared to save his devotee, right, Prahlad Maharaj. So that is the reason why we celebrate Holi, right? But how many of us, tell me, remember this pastime of the Lord on the day of Holi? People are just like thinking, "Kaun sa white kurta?" Yeah, it is on, Prabhuji. Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare.
We don't need it actually. They are
Yeah, it's actually, I think batteries may need to be changed. Yeah, it's blinking.
Voice is loud.
So we'll use it, but till then, we'll continue.
Don't need it.
Yeah, we'll continue till then. So similarly, अभी होली समझ में आ गया. दिवाली.
But होली में तो ये रंग वाला कैसा है? What is the
सभी
Just an expression of celebration.
This is an expression of celebration, but now it is all centered on ourselves. There's no Lord in holy celebration.
उसमें अभी भी होती है जो होली जो होती है तो they don't use colors. गुलेर हाँ गुलर के फूल का उनका सबका निकाल के
Hmm.
बरसाना में तो रंग
So coming back to Diwali, what do we do on Diwali? Espana में क्या होता है? हाँ? Party. What happens in those parties?
gambling.
Drinking, gambling, for our own sense enjoyment. For our sense enjoyment. Why is Diwali celebrated?
For return of Ram to Ayodhya.
Ayodhya.
अयोध्या में
Yeah.
आए
How many people are thinking about Lord Ram and like crying with joy that the Lord is finally back after 14 years of separation? The Lord is back. Nobody's thinking about that. If you ask kids, most kids would not even know. Like most of us also didn't know why we celebrate Holi. So forget about the kids. Right? But we're just parties. We're just parties. So just analyze in everything. All the festivals are actually meant for glorifying the Lord or to celebrate very sweet pastimes of the Lord. But what we are doing now, sense gratification. It's about me. How can I host the nicest party, have like the nicest clothes to wear, get good photos, Instagram,
wrong way.
right? The Shera maybe. There's Dandiya is very famous, right? Actually, वहाँ पे जहाँ पे डांडिया हो रहा होता है, you will not even see दुर्गा माँ कहीं पे होती है, डांडिया कहीं और हो रहा होता है. Actually, this pratha was started that everybody will go around the deity and glorify her and dance for her, right? But she is sitting in some corner, and बाकी celebration हम कर रहे हैं डांडिया का अलग से.
Actually, initially these dances, classical dances or garba, was also done to please the god.
Yeah.
In,
Yeah.
Around temples.
Yeah, so in ISKCON also we, during Kirtan we dance for the pleasure of the Lord. We go to Vrindavan, people are like just dancing so much in front of the Lord, in front of the deities. ISKCON Vrindavan, it has a huge, hopefully someday we'll all go together. It has a huge courtyard. Like, people are dancing in front of the deities for their pleasure, not for themselves. Right, this is any guesses? ये क्या हो रहा है?
कानपुर की होली है.
ये डांस हो रहा है in front of a truck which is going for Ganesh Visarjan.
Yeah. This is Calcutta.
Ganpati. This is Ganpati, Bombay.
Calcutta is not like this. Calcutta Durga Puja is not dance like this.
No. But if you see the Visarjan, you have no idea.
That is Visarjan, they are going, yes, they are dancing, but I've been there, as stayed there for 18 years, but उनका दूसरा होता है level of-
So Ganpati, what I can't call, like, level of bhakti we'll talk about later. Like, Bengalis are also known for being non-vegetarian. So I'm a Bengali too, so I can speak about the community. If you're a bhakta, you can't kill another being and eat. So I'm not sure what is the level of bhakti. Actually, even when many years back, when I used to go for Durga Puja, right, and I've not been to Calcutta, it was mostly here or in any other city I was going. So subah there is something called Anjali, Pushpanjali, where you actually say some mantras and pray to the Lord. And then in the evening there's आरती and then there is a मेला, पंडाल लगता है और बहुत मेला चलता है. So actually the number of people who come in the morning used to be 2 to 5% of people who would come in the evening. People are just there. Not even prasad. Bahar is like ek ke baad ek, like one after the other non-vegetarian stalls. So people are just coming for that. So Ganpati also must be thinking, please don't torture me like
It was
this.
not like this. I think it has changed with time. What I remember of Calcutta days is, even for Visarjan, that never used to be a dance like this. Maybe now it is.
Oh, it's the dance is very integral part of the
No,
research.
I'm not saying not like this, like
No,
on the road, like
even
now.
worse. I've seen it now.
I'm
Even
saying,
worse. Very ugly expression
No,
of the
I've
whole
been
dance.
there. I stayed there for 18 years.
Yeah,
and I
same
was
here.
there.
But the point is, the bigger point is that, what have we done? These are our rituals. These are meant to please the Lord, so that when we are doing something in that bhav that I want to please the Lord, I'm able to connect with the Lord. I'm able to build a relationship with the Lord. And we have just pulled down the rituals to the level of our sense gratification. And everything, therefore, is just gone. Right? So you can also analyze for yourself for a moment. Whatever we've done, rituals in festivals and all, very few times the Lord would be at the center. It would all be about me. We just talked about the most famous festivals, ones that we celebrate: Holi, Diwali, Dashera, जो सबसे ज़्यादा celebrate करते हैं, गणपति, सब discuss कर लिया, right? Yeah. So this is the point. Bhakti should be in the heart. We should not show off. How many people say that? I see a lot of people nodding.
No one in Delhi, at least.
Huh? Maybe they are more spiritual than people here. So, yeah. मन में होना चाहिए. मन में होना चाहिए. Show off करने की क्या जरूरत है? Right? So now let's take an example of a young mother. There is a small infant baby, and of course, mothers have a very strong attachment to kids always, but especially when the kid is a newborn, right? Because they're so dependent on you. They're so dependent on you. So the newborn infant gets up in the middle of the night, starts crying. Mother is full of love, but show off करने की जरूरत नहीं है. So she just turns around and says, "Oh baby, I love you. You know now." And then she turns back and sleeps. ठीक है ना? शो ऑफ करने की जरूरत नहीं है. दिल में है ना प्यार, राइट? दिल में है, शो ऑफ करने की क्या जरूरत है?
I think it should be there's a difference between show off and to show. So show off is you're going overboard with whatever it is, and to show is that you have to express.
Who defines? शास्त्रा में तो नहीं दिया हुआ है कुछ कि what is the
I'm
threshold
not
of
in
shows.
Shastra, so I have no idea.
So that is
I
what.
don't have that knowledge. But what
So-
I'm saying is that I think the word show off and show is.
So that is why
expression.
we defined that bhakti means to serve the Lord in ways through actions as has been told by him, as has been told in the Shastras. Because otherwise, Mataji, it's a very slippery slope. You may have some knowledge, I may have some knowledge, or I may think something, somebody else may think something कि ये show off है. But coming to the show off point again, right? What will a genuine mother do?
This would not be showing off. The child needs the mother.
Yeah, so
She has to
express.
Yeah, she has to serve, right? So she has to serve, right? But so that is her duty. She has to serve because she's so. The point is, wherever there is true love, there is genuine service. Right? Let's use the word genuine without getting into which is like show off or ultra show off, come show off. Wherever there is true love, there is genuine service. Where there is no service, please note this very carefully. Where there is no service, there is no love. If you think you love the Lord, but you don't do service for the Lord, please know that you don't have love. You're trying to fool yourselves. Any relationship which is based on love, service has to manifest. If there is no service manifesting, it shows that there is a lack of true love. Yes, Mataji.
But then what are the ways to serve the Lord?
We'll
That
come
may
to
have
that.
different definitions.
Yeah. And that is given in the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna has said it in the Bhagavad Gita. What are the ways to serve?
Serving humanity is serving God.
Right? So but these are the statements that we should stay away from. Serving humanity, serving God. He has not said that. But he has said there are different ways to serve. You can serve, like there are different paths to serve the Lord. There's Jnana Yoga, there's Karma Yoga, there's Ashtanga Yoga, there's Bhakti Yoga. Choose a path, and whatever comes in that path, through that you serve the Lord. We serve the Lord through selfless service. It's given in the Bhagavad Gita. Serving me is engaging your thoughts and minds completely in me and doing everything for my sake. But if it is too tough for you to do, then at least serve me through knowledge. Read the scriptures, get to know about me. If that is also not possible, then you can serve Him by doing some service for the Lord. If that is also not possible, then you do some selfless service.
But that is humanity, isn't it? I mean, you're serving people who need to be served. So isn't that?
Yeah, that is the fourth level. That's the
No,
fourth
whatever
level.
level it may be, but I'm saying
Yeah.
the serving, because those human beings also belong to the God. So if you are serving them, helping them,
So there is,
doing some kind service, that is also
Yes and
serving
no.
God only. Right?
Yes and no. So, for example, it's in the Bhagavad Gita itself. The whole it is given like, even when you're, let's take that as charity. Let's say we're talking of charity. He's given there could be different modes in which you can do charity. So if you're doing charity in the mode of passion and ignorance, you're not actually serving
So
the Lord.
ultimately it boils down to bhav.
So if I'm feeding somebody who's hungry,
So
who needs to be
if
fed.
I'm thinking that in that person I'm able to, like Ashok ji is saying that कि भगवान को ही देख के हम उसको serve कर रहे हैं. So that is
Without any self motive,
Yeah.
without any passion, without as a photo opportunity or something.
Yeah.
If it is just a selfless service, there's nothing wrong with it.
Actually, that is part of Karma Yoga.
Yeah, but Prabhuji, the reason why I actually said that these are dangerous statements, because you have understood it, because you've now read the Gita and you've understood it. So a lot of people, when they do it, they say हम अच्छे भाव से ही कर रहे हैं, लेकिन they don't understand they're actually doing it in the mode of
That's
passion or
what I'm saying,
ignorance.
So either you're doing it for a photo opportunity or for to be seen or for some other.
हाँ नहीं, not
hidden
necessarily,
agenda.
not नहीं, जरूरी नहीं है कि hidden agenda ही हो, लेकिन लोग फिर ऐसे सोचते हैं कि let's say somebody goes and does like some dan, feeds a lot of poor children. The next day something bad happens to them. भगवान तो है ही नहीं. कल मैं अनाथ आश्रम में जाके इतना करके आई और देखो क्या हो गया आज मेरी जिंदगी में. They didn't do it for a photo op. They were doing it with a lot of love. But then they were still not doing it in the mode of goodness, because then that thought would never come. So that's the
No,
difference.
as long as my attitude, my intention, and my bhav is that of serving somebody who needs to be served, I don't think that anything. And ultimately, what happens, if something wrong has happened, that is not in my hand, but I have done it with good intention, isn't that?
No, but today people liken the two. They relate the two. कि अगर मैं अच्छा काम कर रही हूँ, if I'm doing good service, I'm doing charity, something bad shouldn't happen to me. Something bad is happening, then there's no God. That becomes, so that is a immature understanding of how service needs to be done.
So people look at instant gratification कि मैंने अभी ये किया
हाँ, तो मेरे को
तो
कुछ
मुझे
मिलना चाहिए
immediately
ना,
कुछ
तो
result मिल जाएगा.
वो तो भाव ही हो गया ना, वो तो भाव हो
वो
गया.
तो बार्गेन हो गया ना फिर.
That is not what Ashok
So a lot of times people say जैसे दिल साफ रखिए, ठीक है? तो now let's talk about that. We are all saying कि साफ दिल से करना चाहिए, ठीक है? So it's an important point. जो भी करें, साफ दिल से करें.
नहीं, पर एक चीज बताइए, जैसे आपने अपने साथ में जो भी है आपने उसके लिए अच्छा किया, ठीक है, बट दैट इज माय कर्म, बट उसके बदले में आपको कुछ डिफरेंट मिला,
हाँ,
वो दूसरे का कर्म है, दैट इज नॉट माय कर्म.
नहीं वो भी आपका ही कर्म है. आपको आपके लाइफ में जो भी हो रहा है, that is your karma.
नहीं, बट
Now when there is another person involved also, it could be their karma also, but I mean ultimately whatever is happening in our life is our karma. It could be from this life, previous lifetimes, but it's all our karma.
Attention to detail, even the things that you do is required. कि अगर किसी का भजन भी करवा रहे हैं आप, आपको उतना ध्यान देना है, अपनी तरफ से पूरे काम करने हैं.
कह रहा है, बट उसके बावजूद भी अगर कुछ गलत हुआ तो फिर हम लोग यही बोलते हैं ना कि ये उसके पुराने कर्म है.
हाँ, पुराने कर्म है. Because it could be from like maybe 100 lifetimes back.
That I've seen it in my life.
Yeah, Yeah, it happens with everyone. It happens with everyone.
नहीं, हमने अपनी तरफ से सब अच्छा किया, उसने भी सब कुछ अच्छा किया लाइफ में. I am taking
But why do bad things happen to good people? We have a whole session on that.
बुरा क्यों हुआ ऐसा? Why she suffered?
Yeah, it's because of some past karmas from previous
We
lifetimes.
don't know the
Yeah, we don't know the past life
लोग यही
karmas.
बोलते हैं कि शायद ये पुराने कर्म हैं.
Wait, it is all. The law of karma is universal. There's no universal.
जिंदगी में हमने उसको देखा है. I'm talking of my sister's example. I have seen it. She was जैसे बोलते हैं कि देवी थी. पूरी लाइफ में सब उनको बहुत अप्रिशिएट करते थे. वेरी नाइस लेडी. ऐसे लोग बहुत कम होते हैं. But for 8 years she suffered. She got paralytic. तो कभी हम भी भगवान से पूछते थे कि इन्होंने
कैसे
क्या
से
किया?
कैसे हाँ वही it is previous life karmas which we don't know and need not be just इसके पिछले जन्म में maybe 1000 जन्म पहले कुछ कर्म किया, right? So
संचित कर्मा जो है.
so then
मैं just अपनी curiosity है.
माता जी का टाइम बहुत precious है.
अरे नहीं, it's like important to clarify all doubts. So see, one thing which I want to say is that sometimes, not sometimes, we are all saying दिल साफ रखना चाहिए, which is actually true, right? दिल साफ रखना चाहिए. कैसे साफ रखें? हार्पिक से तो नहीं हो सकता. What is a way to cleanse your heart? There, a bona fide procedure has been given, right? So we have to follow that procedure. Anything else which we are doing, which is not as per the bona fide procedure, I can say it now, I know all of you very well. You should know this is your mind tricking you. That's your mind tricking you. Anything which is not given, but you are still saying, हमारा मन तो बहुत साफ है, हमारा मन बहुत अच्छा है, हम सही से कर रहे हैं. अगर आप प्रोसीजर फॉलो नहीं कर रहे हैं, आपका दिल साफ नहीं हो सकता है. Mantra jap is what leads to Chetudarpana Manchanam. Doing rituals also helps in that. Reading scriptures also helps in that. Right? So let's see, today it's about rituals specifically, so we'll focus on that. So when the purpose of the ritual is to serve the Lord, then ritual becomes spiritual. That's what happens, right? So now let us look at all the rituals one by one and look at what is the science behind the rituals, right? So why are these rituals done? As of now, we've forgotten our true identity as a part and parcel of the Supreme. And therefore, these rituals are an opportunity given to us by the Lord to be able to connect back to Him by following a bona fide process of serving Him. Right? It is not just a time pass. It is to express our gratitude to the Lord. Right? So just think about it. We are all in this room. We're all in a society which is very affluent. We are all doing well in life. But we should be very grateful to the Lord. How many people are like that? Even in a city like Bangalore, which is like, fairly an opulent city, how many people are like us? Leave that aside. We are able to see, hear, talk. Isn't this a big benediction? Isn't this something that we should be so grateful to the Lord?
These are taken for granted.
We take it for granted. So there is so much that we have to offer our gratitude. It's not about कि हाँ लेकिन वो जो नौकरी सोच रहे थे वो तो नहीं मिला, तो फिर क्या gratitude express करना? No, just think about what so much that we have in our lives, so much. And we should not ever think हाँ लेकिन क्या उसमें क्या है, मैंने मेहनत की ना, मैं इतनी मेहनत की, पढ़ाई की, अपनी मेहनत की वजह से आईआईटी गई इसीलिए हुआ है, तो इसमें भगवान का क्या हाथ है? ऐसा नहीं. एवरीथिंग बिलोंग्स टू द लॉर्ड. वी ऑलरेडी एस्टैब्लिश्ड दैट एज पर द स्क्रिप्चर्स. Right? So there's a lot to be grateful for, and Lord, we are all very fortunate. So let's see what Lord is saying in Bhagavad Gita. Patram pushpam phalam toyam यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्ति उपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः.
If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Bhagavad Gita 9.26.
So, what is he asking for? Leaf, flower, fruit, water. Right? He's saying Allah. So, नहीं है क्या भगवान के पास ये सब? Everything belongs to him. It doesn't have this. Why is he saying this in the Bhagavad Gita? On the battlefield.
Bhav is
Because this is the way to offer, I mean, it inculcates that vow.
Basically,
Total samarpan.
Yeah, with love and
Love
devotion.
and devotion.
With love and devotion. So just think of a situation. You call your boss home for dinner. है ना? फिर उसके बाद पत्र, पुष्प, फल, वाटर. नेक्स्ट डे सुबह क्या होगा? फायर भी ऐड हो जाएगा
instant
उसमें.
devotion.
Yeah, but look at our real boss, which is the Lord. Isn't he so sweet? Everything is his. हमको दे रखा है so that we can use it for ourselves. And he's just asking, he just offered these small things. He has made it so simple so that nobody can say, oh, I can't afford this. Everybody can afford this. Anybody, he's giving an opportunity to the rich, to the poor to serve him. There is no barrier of male, female. आपको आप किसी भी body में हो, you can serve him. So he's giving such a simple procedure. In Brahma Samhita, there is a shloka. Chintamani prakhar satma sukalpa vriksha लक्षावृतेषु सुरभिरभिपालयन्तं लक्ष्मीसहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. Talks about the spiritual world. He's saying that, it's full of gemstones, chintamani. There are surabhi cows. There's desire fulfilling trees there. And there are hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis. Lakshmi. We pray to one Lakshmi ji for wealth. There are hundreds and thousands of Lakshmis who are serving the Lord's lotus feet. That is his opulence. So he doesn't need this. He doesn't need our flour or little bit water. He has everything in like quantities that we can't and in ways we can't even imagine. But what is he doing here through this shloka? He is giving us an opportunity to connect with him. That is the science behind this ritual of offering. He's being so merciful that he's giving us this opportunity to connect and to revive our lost relationship with him. Right? So the Lord is always searching for ways in which he can elevate us in bhakti. So therefore, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, you will find shlokas. First 6 chapters are mostly about karma yoga, then middle 3 are about bhakti yoga, and then there is gyan yoga, right? But it's not like bhakti is spoken of only in the middle 6 chapters. You will see he's talking of bhakti everywhere, because even on the like karma yoga he's talking of bhakti, because he's everywhere finding an opportunity ki ek opportunity de do. How can they serve me? Not because he needs our service. He doesn't need our service. It is an opportunity he's giving to us, right? To elevate ourselves spiritually. Now, deity worship, right? So, we've talked about offering. One ritual is offering. Deity worship. People often say deity worship is not needed. I remember once Prabhuji was sharing, when he was in college or something, he'd gone to the Juhu temple or somewhere, and then he was sitting outside. And there was a Muslim person who came to him and he said कि ये सब मूर्ति वूर्ति कुछ नहीं है, कल से बोल दो अपनी माँ को बोल दो कि ये सब हम बंद कर देंगे, कुछ नहीं होता ये मूर्ति में. He's like, कौन हो तुम भाई, कहाँ से आ रहे हो, what did I ask you? So the thing is, if our own understanding is not strong, we'll get very swayed. तो हम जब तक शास्त्र नहीं पढ़ेंगे, कोई भी कॉन्फिडेंटली आके कुछ भी बोल देगा तो हम वो विश्वास कर लेंगे, जो भी फील गुड लगे. दिल साफ होना चाहिए, ये अच्छा लग रहा है, ये कर लेंगे. बट कैसे? बात सही है, बट कैसे है वो भी तो पता होना चाहिए. So that is very important. A lot of times, like, even in deity worship, we've seen, especially with the deities, because, it's so easy to build that relationship. When you see Archa Vigraha, we often, like, go to the deities and ask for things. It's okay. It's actually not wrong. He's our supreme father. You can ask for things from your supreme father. But then to think कि अरे मैंने 4 बार मंदिर गई और बोला कि ये दे दो, भगवान ने नहीं दिया, कुछ नहीं होता है, भगवान छोड़ो, कुछ नहीं है deities. So the Lord is, a lot of people say, why go to the temple? Lord is everywhere. You agree? Lord is everywhere. Then why go to the temple? Why have a temple with deities? Or if the Lord is everywhere, is he not in the temple? He's in the temple also, right? There's no problem in that. So there's a good example of it. Let's take the cow. So actually, the cow's body has blood everywhere. What is milk? Milk is just a transformation of the blood, turns into milk. But how do we get milk from the cow? We can't take it from anywhere in the cow's body, right? There's an udder when we have to milk the udder to get the milk. So it's a similar thing, right? The Lord is there in the temple in the form of his Archa Vigraha. And we have to pray to the Lord. In chapter 11, Krishna revealed his universal form. Not everybody saw him. There were very few people who saw him. Arjuna saw him. Some people on the battlefield, people in the higher planetary systems saw that universal form. But Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I am giving you the divine vision because of which you will be able to see this form. So jab tak divine vision nahi hai, we can't see the Lord. So this is our opportunity. The Lord is being merciful. He, as per Shastras, is appearing in the form of his Archa Vigraha, deities, so that we can see a form which is made of some dhatus, right? And be able to worship him and form a relationship with him. So there are 5 types of Archa Vigraha. They are made of metal, stone, wood, jewels, paint, which is Pattachitra. So this is also, one form of deity. But we've made a joke out of it. A lot of times, people कोई भी रास्ते पे कोई पत्थर देखेंगे उसकी पूजा करना शुरू कर देंगे कि भगवान हर जगह है, पत्थर में भी है, तो पत्थर को भगवान समझ के पूजा करते हैं. That's correct. पत्थर में भी भगवान है, घर भी भगवान है, सब जगह है. God is there as Paramatma in each and every atom. But as Archa Vigraha, he is appearing in a certain form for us to be able to worship and offer service to the Archa Vigraha. But we made a joke of it. So once there was like a stone on the roadside. उस पे कुछ कपड़ा वगैरह पहनाया हुआ था, and everybody was worshipping. So there was a foreigner who actually, and he didn't know what is like this, deity worship or something. So he just went and he removed that chunni which was there. So it turned out it was actually a milestone which said 20 kilometers to this place. But that is making a joke of deity worship, right? In the scriptures, it is given what kind of stone should be used to make Archa Vigraha, how it should be carved, who is the person who is eligible for carving a deity, because their level of purity has to be very, very high. So all of that is given. Then after that form is created, there is a pran pratishtha which is done, where the Lord is invoked. Like, a lot of saints come together. Like we recently had a temple opening. 3 to 5 days, there was like constant worship going on just for pran pratishtha of the deities. So that is the right procedure for deity worship, right? Not just like कि रास्ते पे पड़े हुए like stone पे कपड़ा लपेट दिया तो भगवान बन गए. So that is making a mockery, right? So any questions on this? There's a question which all of you should have asked relating to our previous sessions. So we talked about like how the Muslim invaders, they came, they destroyed our deities. So don't you have this question कि अगर उसमें भगवान है तो destroy कैसे कर दिए?
That's a physical destruction. I don't think they have destroyed the spirit of the.
But the Lord is there, no?
I'm saying that I can break anything. That doesn't mean that I have destroyed the God or the Lord. I mean, you can
Yeah,
break
but the
spirit.
Lord Archa Vigraha, there the Lord is saying, I am there in my personal form. Like he's not saying that for other objects. So shouldn't Archa Vigraha be like, nobody should be able to destroy Archa Vigraha, but aisa nahi hai. Archa Vigrahas have been destroyed.
physical creation, so which is subject to.
But it's also transcendental. अभी भगवान है तो transcendental होना चाहिए था. Should
Actually,
have been.
Lord is in the form of energy in temples, even in the deities.
Hmm.
So people can destroy the physical structure, but the energies are still there.
What she's saying is that if that मूर्ति में भगवान है
तो जैसे वो
तो फिर वो कैसे destroy
तो
कर सकते
अभी
हैं?
ये
वो
बताइए
नहीं touch कर सकते।
नहीं नहीं और या फिर अभी वो हिरण्यकशिपु वाला जो प्रहलाद महाराज नरसिम्हदेव का भी इन्होंने बताया पास्ट टाइम सच अ ब्यूटीफुल पास्ट टाइम नरसिम्हदेव केम आउट ऑफ द पिलर ना so why he can't if the lord is there he should break open that archa vigraha come out in his personal form and protect kill the invaders why is that not happening See, after this class, when you go and tell others कि नहीं नहीं अर्चा विग्रह तो ये भगवान होते हैं, वो यही क्वेश्चन पूछेंगे. भगवान होते तो कोई भी तोड़ के चला जा सकता है. क्या है भगवान फिर उसमें? बताइए.
There might other justification देना ही है. There can be many justifications. One is भगवान पाप का घड़ा भर रहे थे. जब पाप का घड़ा भरेगा तभी तो वो आएंगे ना. So that is why he allowed it to be done.
That's also a nice explanation.
Another one we need, like when we went to Jwala Mandir temple, we were told कि Akbar tried to destroy the source of the Jwala that was coming, but he couldn't do. So maybe the energy of God is very strong at some places where they didn't succeed, but at other places it got. I mean, this is my personal justification, which I'm just making on the go.
No, that's fine. I just like forced all of you to anyway do that. So
But this question is
no negative marks for that.
many young people also.
Yeah.
What they showed in the Kerala files.
Yeah.
This is a vulnerable area.
So I'll
God
answer
cannot
that.
protect you.
So
ये
I'll.
भी हो सकता है कि जिसने बनाया उसकी प्राण प्रतिष्ठा ठीक नहीं हुई हो and you know the person
नहीं
was
वैसा
being-
नहीं है वैसा नहीं है एक्चुअली इफ यू सी ड्यूरिंग द मुगल रूल लॉट ऑफ वेरी इट वाजंट लाइक कि अरे ये मोहल्ले का टेंपल किसी ने कुछ कर दिया है these were like some of our most revered temples so the answer is as follows so when the lord appears as archa vigraha he is not manifesting to show his opulence that is not the purpose he is manifesting to accept our service he is here only for one purpose to accept our service.
No, but then why जो खंडित वाले जो मंदिर होते हैं वहाँ पे पूजा नहीं करते हैं अगर मूर्ति खंडित होती है so if he is not there to you know express his opulence as you're rightly saying so it doesn't matter even if it is खंडित right he's still there
वो खंडित का मुझे I will get back to you on that even I have heard this what is the reason why we
broken ones is never done because then वो जो Lord का form है
वो भी बोल रही है ना कि opulence के लिए नहीं है
नहीं नहीं but form of the Lord has been spoiled
no that is what she is saying ना Padmanaji.
नहीं नहीं opulence is different opulence is different and form is different
This is what I am.
So that is different.
opulence is to show I am the most powerful that if you come to destroy me I will destroy this entire and the Lord can do that he can destroy the entire universe right now he can do it but he's not there to show that the khandit wala and I don't know the exact science but it could be because see when we were talking of archa vigraha also it has to be of a particular form and carved in a certain way so you know usme thoda sa kuch like you know gadbad ho gaya hai. But
As per
yeah
Agam Shastra, actually, which is the science behind the temple and deity formation, if you are praying to a broken idol, then you are not really praying to that form of Lord, because there it's a complete science of generating that energy. So that is why the prerequisite for that is a full deity
हाँ,
and not a broken one or etc.
yeah
In fact, in Kashi Vishwanath or Mahakaleshwar and all these places, Kashi Vishwanath was taken by one of the queens, Ahilya, by or, even Mahakali, Kavi wo tradition hai. So I think what you are saying it completely makes sense that you know he's not showing the opulence, it's only devotion. And वो क्योंकि उनको वो ना अहिल्या बाई उनको अपना बच्चा जैसे डिवोशन से ले गई and it was protected actually. and later on
Actually, a
established.
lot of protection even happened even when all this invasion was
Invasion
happening
was
in Vrindavan. All the Goswamis temples that were there, Govind Dev Ji, Gopinath Ji, Madan Mohan Ji. So actually, if you go to Vrindavan, the deities that you see, they're not the original deities. They are all in Jaipur because when this all this invasion was happening, they were taken by devotees. Like some underground roads were like ways were tunnels were made, and they were like the deities were taken from there to protect them.
Govind Dev Ji
So this
temple
is
is
also
yeah.
a blessing of the Lord that you're getting an opportunity to protect the Lord. He will not protect himself because he's not there to show that opulence that I am great. He's there in a form where he's saying, Patram Pushpam Phalam Doem. Maya, can you please give me one flower? Can you give me one tulsi? Can you give me some food? You think the Lord needs food? But he needs it in the temple because we are there to he's appeared so that we can serve him. So that is the form in which he appears.
Somnath temple was looted 17 times,
Mhm.
but still stands as one of the most opulent temples.
Yeah. Because even after the invasion was happening, again, what was happening between two invasions, again enough wealth was getting
Yeah,
created.
that's what I'm
So the
saying.
invaders were coming again and
It would
again.
never, it
Right?
would never be destroyed.
Actually, ये तो बहुत like this is centuries back. I can talk about even in ISKCON Mayapur. Now, like there is a yatra in end of April. So Mayapur was a completely now it is very developed. There's like a huge ashram and it's so beautiful. Now one of the biggest dome in the world is coming up in the temple there. So it's very opulent. But many centuries back in Prabhupada's time, it was not like that. गांव था वो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी भी नहीं थी it was full of dacoits. So when all these devotees gathered to create a temple, there were so many dacoit attacks which were happening there. So there was a dacoit attack like that, and one of the now he's one of the swamis in ISKCON. He actually came and tried to protect the deity because they thought like ashtadhatu se bante hain deity, so they in ISKCON. So the dacoits thought they're made of gold, so they came to take the deities away. He actually took a gunshot in his leg because he wanted to protect the deities. So the Lord is giving us an opportunity. What can you do to serve me? You have to protect me. He'll not protect himself. So that's the reason why Archa Vigraha will not, like Narsimha Dev, come out of the stone. But he came out of a pillar because to protect his devotee. Now he's appearing as Archa Vigraha so that devotees can take care of him, to give a chance to devotees to take care of him. Actually, there are so many sweet pastimes of deities and their reciprocation. There are like books which have been written on, especially Jagannath Puri, Sakshi Gopal. There are so many beautiful pastimes of the Lord and the devotees and the way they've shown the miracles have happened. Okay, so let's take this. So he is there to accept service, Archa Vigraha. So who's getting benefited by accepting the service?
We are getting.
We are getting benefited. Lord is not getting benefited. It is we who are getting benefited. Of course, it makes the Lord very happy because more than us, He is more eager to take each and every one of us back home. We have forgotten our relationship. हमें तो याद ही नहीं है कि वही है सब हमारे. He is our father. But the father remembers, this is my son, this is my daughter, this is my dear child. And I want to get the child back. I don't want to, it's like, राजा का बेटा भीख मांग रहा है सड़कों पे, उसको कैसे लगेगा? That's how the Lord feels about our situation.
In fact, Ramcharitmanas has this on Lord Rama's के उनके बचपन का है तो वो कौशल्या जी से हर चीज मांग मांग के और उसका जो विवरण है वो इतना अच्छा है बिकॉज कौशल्या जी उनके पीछे खाने के लेके दौड़ती रहती हैं and all that because he loves that devotion and the love with which devotees offer him.
With Krishna, they show
Yeah,
that.
yeah, same thing with Lord Krishna.
Yeah. So if we see, like, even when it comes to deity worship, we say we should offer bhoga every day. Prabhuji has also talked about it a lot of times. कि आप कुछ भी आप सात्विक खाना नहीं बना पा रहे घर पे तो ठीक है आप पत्रम पुष्पम पलम तो अब आप फल दे दीजिए पानी दे दीजिए इतना तो कर सकते हैं ना सबके घर में फ्रूट्स आते हैं रोज पानी है सबके घर में आप उतना ऑफर करिए जस्ट ऑफर वन भोगा ऑफरिंग टू द लॉर्ड right? But why this procedure? Because all our acharyas, all the great acharyas, Ramanujacharya, Nimbarkacharya, everybody has talked about these bhakti procedures. So they are the stalwarts in this path. They know the right process and the procedure. So they have advice, therefore we should follow. There's no debate. When we study physics, E is equal to mc square. Did any of you contest in school? How many contested that this is not correct? He's an authority in some material science. We accepted it as told. But when it comes to spirituality, then everybody has an opinion. नहीं, but I feel ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. फिर वो हो जाता है. So we have to accept authority. Whoever knows when, it's medical science, whatever doctor is saying, you have to follow that. Any physical sciences, whatever great physicists are saying, we've accepted that on face value. किसने experiment किया है E is equal to mc square prove करने के लिए, लेकिन सबने मान लिया. But when it comes to connecting our soul back to the Lord, then we have all these questions. So this is all the mind which is actually trying to uh, play truant with us. Kirtans. It is a yug dharma. So different yugas have different dharmas. So there are 4 yugas. What are the 4 yugas?
Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, Kalyug.
Yeah. So Satya Yuga mein what was Yuga Dharma? Meditation.
Meditation.
Treta Yuga,
Yogi.
Yajna. Dwapar Yuga,
Puja.
Archa Vigraha worship, deity worship. In Kali Yuga, the Yuga Dharma is actually Sankirtan. It's Sankirtan, which is
Kirtan, Jap.
yeah. Jap is also that. When you say Kirtana, you're chanting the Lord. Now you can chant it alone, or you can do Sankirtan, which is like getting everyone together, chanting, doing Kirtan, singing, right? So it is Yug Dharma, and it creates auspiciousness also around us, and not just for our lives, but also around us, for everyone around us as a whole. So let's see. Is Krishna saying we should do this? Satatam kirtayanto mam
सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां
yatantascha dridhavritaha
यन्तश्च दृढावृतः
namasyantascha mam bhaktya
नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या
nityayukta upasate.
नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Can somebody recite?
Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion.
Yeah.
Bhagavad Gita 9.1.
So Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, Satatam kirtayanto mam. Always chanting my glories, always chanting the names of the Lord. So this is his instruction that he has given. Right? Now some other rituals, namaskar or obeisances. So why do we pay obeisances? Why is namaskar done? Correct. So all mercy, like water, flows from like or electricity from every higher level to lower level. So unless we take the lower position, we are not going to get any mercy. If we think हमें सब पता है, हम क्यों bow करें? हम भी तो है एस्पाना में रहने वाले हैं. We are like the cream of society. Why do we need to bow down? और यहाँ पे temple में यहाँ पे गंदा था, हम कोई जरूरत नहीं है. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है. The Lord is there. We have to bow down. We have to take a position of humility. So there are 2 types of obeisances as we see here. There is one ashtang obeisances where you're doing it with all the limbs of the body, and then there is panchang pranam, which is recommended for females. किसी को डाउट तो नहीं है कि पार्शियलिटी क्यों किया है हमारे साथ भगवान ने?
मेरे को था वो क्लियर हो गया जब पूछ लिया किसी से।
अच्छा, क्या बताया उन्होंने?
It has got to do with the physical
Structure of the body
yeah,
of the females.
women and the difference.
Yeah.
That is what
So
she
therefore,
told.
there are certain parts which you should not touch to the ground, and that is why it is there. So there's no partiality. हम पंचांग से हमें जितने क्रेडिट्स मिल रहे हैं और जितना मर्सी फ्लो हो रहा है वो अष्टांग में फॉर मेन उतना ही फ्लो हो रहा है. Process is different, but Lord is giving equal amount of mercy. He's not counting how many angas touch the ground होते हैं. ये 8 तो 8 on 8, ये 5 on 8 ही मिलेगा mercy, वैसा नहीं है. So there's no partiality here, right? So we develop humility. So obeisance is actually a very important ritual, because without humility, we can't develop bhakti. Yeah? It is very, very important. In third verse of Shikshashtakam, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Trinadapi suni chena tarorapi sahishnunam amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. What does Krishna say? Always satatam kirtayanto mam. Always chanting my glories. What is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying? One who considers himself to be lower than a blade of grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, who is always giving honor to others but for himself doesn't expect anything. Only such a person can constantly chant the names of the Lord. So, this establishes that if you want to progress in spirituality and if you want to take to bhakti, humility is absolutely a must. So, yeah, no, we go to. Also, there is a process through which we offer obeisances. So, suppose if you're going to the temple, or even when you come here, you see the photo of the Lord, right? अक्सर टेम्पल में जाके देखेंगे लोग ऐसे ही कुछ बस ऐसे करके सर ऐसे झुका लेंगे या ऐसे ऐसे कुछ कर लेंगे है ना दिस इज नॉट pranam. Pranam procedure has been given. Ashtang, Panchang. That is obeisances, nothing else. Others are just concocted. Okay, another very nice shloka. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame veshyasi yuktevam atmanam matparayanaha. So we'll read the translation.
Let your mind always in thinking of you. Become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come.
ठीक है इफ एनीबडी हैड अ डाउट कि माता जी अब बोल रही है कि ओबेसेंसेस करे मे बी ओबेसेंसेस इसलिए करना चाहिए बिकॉज हम फिट रहेंगे हमारा फिजिकल हेल्थ Krishna has said, the Lord is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, Mam Namaskuru. Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Offer obeisances to me. But why not just look at the scriptures? We often just do a very superficial reading of the Bhagavad Gita and then we are stuck at ki हाँ अपना कर्मा करने करते रहना चाहिए etc. It's not just Bhagavad Gita doesn't stop at that. Krishna is saying each and every point. Offer obeisances to me. Offer fruits to me. Water to me. So we can't say, oh, one part of it I'll accept. The other part, किसी और के लिए लिखा होगा. No, everything is for us. Right? And Mam Namaskuru is a very important part. 2 times he's mentioned it. So this is Bhagavad Gita 9.34. In the 18th chapter, 18.65. Again, he's saying the same thing, Mam Namaskuru. Padyaji Mam Namaskuru. Twice in the Bhagavad Gita is saying, offer obeisances to me. So Lord himself is saying, Pranam Karo. Right? And why is he saying that? Ego अच्छा लगेगा भगवान को. See, I'm great. सारे लोग आके इस्पाना के हो तो क्या हो बड़ी बड़ी गाड़ियों में आके मेरे सामने एक पूरे अष्टांग प्रणाम कर रहे हैं. Wow. Is he doing that?
God's ego satisfaction.
Ego satisfaction of the Lord. Why is he saying?
Saying so that his Ashirvad can reach you. So it is for our benefit only. Saying
Yeah.
that you should do it like this. Be human. If you are humble and you're going to in front of me, then my Ashirvad energy. You
How
will
else
receive
will you
everything.
receive his
Yeah,
blessing?
actually, on this, I have another question. So, are we saying that Krishna, we are saying he's our father, right? So, he'll give us Ashirvad only when we do this, like, full lying down on the floor?
He is
Why? अगर ऐसे कर दिया तो नहीं देंगे आशीर्वाद.
फिर हम humble नहीं होंगे ना हम ईगो में रहेंगे हम परमानेंट तो फिर
That is the point.
आशीर्वाद मिलेगा भी तो वो नहीं
That
समझेंगे
is the
आशीर्वाद
point.
मिला है।
अंदर नहीं आएगा ना दोनों
नहीं,
तरफ
नहीं,
ओपन होना है
मिलेगा भी आशीर्वाद तो हम एक्सेप्ट नहीं करेंगे ना आशीर्वाद मिला है हमें
So the way, there's a very nice analogy. There is a very nice analogy. A lot of times people will say, so the Lord is partial. Then it means Lord is partial. आप बोल रहे हो आप गीता सत्संग वाले हो तो आपके साथ रेसिप्रोकेट कर रहे हैं हम पार्टी वाले हैं तो हमारा ख्याल नहीं रखेंगे ये ऐसे कैसे लॉर्ड है right so the Lord is actually equally merciful. Think of it as the sunshine. The Lord is not partial. One thing, very important concept, the Lord is not partial. Think of the Lord as the sunshine. Sunshine is there everywhere for everyone equally it is there. But if you want to be in the sunshine, आपको अपने घर के बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा ना. So this is what is that procedure. That to access that Ashirvad, the Lord is merciful. His mercy is there. We are not able to access it. And through these rituals, we will be able to take a position of humility, serve the Lord, and therefore form that relationship with the Lord and access His mercy. Access His mercy.
And we have to surrender our ego in His
Yeah.
lotus feet.
Yeah, surrender our ego, surrender everything. Actually, everything. All his, like, he talks about 8 material energies: Bhumera, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kham, Mana, Buddhi, Evacha, Ahankara. So, ego, yes, but everything else also. Our bodies are made of the 5 Panchabhutas. So, we have to offer those also. Right? So, everything that we do, we have to, we have to offer it back to the Lord. Again, otherwise, shuru mein bola tha na, kya hai hum otherwise? Chor. Parikrama or circumambulation. So why do we do parikrama in temple? All of you, I'm sure, would have done. And why do we do parikrama?
Keep God in the center of life.
Yeah. So when we go around, we are recollecting and re-emphasizing and going around with the mood. Oh Lord, you are the center of my life. I want to keep you at the center of my life. You are, and you should always be the center of my life. Yeah. Only because with you as the center, I will be satisfied. If I keep you at the corner and do dandi on the side, I will not be satisfied. Yeah. And so, because then if I focus on my selfish needs, temporarily, only there'll be satisfaction. It won't lead to perpetual, eternal happiness. Why do we put tilak? ये भी बहुत लोग बोलेंगे ये तो शो ऑफ है. यही है शो ऑफ जो हम बोल रहे थे एक्स्ट्रा. अभी माता जी को से मुझे नहीं माता जी ये तो लाइक शो ऑफ है. नहीं लेंगे बोलेंगे नहीं ये मेरे हिसाब से तो एक्स्ट्रा शो ऑफ है. थोड़ा थोड़ा दिखाना चाहिए. So आई वाज सेइंग it will become very controversial कि कौन what is extra show off, what is show off. But why do we put tilak?
The area between both the eyes
Hmm.
is
Third
one
eye.
of the that third eye point,
Hmm.
and it is an opportunity to
Acha.
touch it and activate it,
Hmm.
and sandalwood and all actually cools it.
Our
So that
So
is why
actually this is a material reason.
focus should always
Also,
remain.
Yeah, that, yeah,
Mm.
because God is here, so He should be sitting on the upper, on the forehead, head. Is
So
the
there are
area
some of these explanations for obeisance and everything. But at least I've learned from Prabhuji, and Prabhuji doesn't like talk about any of these because these are again for our benefit. है ना. देखिए अगर एनालाइज करिए अभी हम सब भक्ति की बात करें लेकिन हमेशा घूम फिर के आ जाता है हमें क्या बेनिफिट होगा. हमारा ये वाला चक्र एक्टिवेट हो जाएगा तो हम बड़े इंटेलिजेंट हो जाएंगे.
ईश्वर को हम ऊपर रखते हैं ना, तो इसीलिए यहाँ पे लगाते हैं. This is for respect.
So actually, this upper part that you see, these are the 2 lotus feet of the Lord.
Yeah.
And this lower thing, this is a tulsi leaf at the lotus feet of the Lord. So this is what this tilak signifies, right? So now let me ask, especially in North India, you would have seen women, they put sindoor, right? So आजकल नहीं लगा रहे बहुत लोग. But क्यों लगाते हैं सिंदूर?
Not only marriage.
मांग में जो सिंदूर लगाते हैं.
Perceive this is symbol of your being married.
Yeah, so you are so married women put it. So that is a statement that I belong to somebody. So similarly, this tilak is to say, make a statement, I belong to the Lord. And who are we making this statement to? To everybody around, also to ourselves. सुबह लगाएंगे तो mirror देख के लगाएंगे ना. It's a reminder to yourself as well. I'm a part and parcel of the Lord. I belong to the Lord. So it is helping everybody and everybody around also. Like let's say they've come to the satsang, not come to the satsang. मैं आ रही थी, अभी नीचे guard मिला, उसने देखा tilak. So he's also got some spiritual benefits because what is this? This is not some design. This is the lotus feet of the Lord. So he has through this tilak also got the benefit of taking the darshan of the feet of the Lord.
Yeah.
So that is why we put a tilak. So like yes, अभी कुछ ऐसे बस बिंदी लगा लेते हैं. So those are not like Shastric. If you look at any Vaishnav sampradayas, of course the tilak design varies a little bit. Like Sri Vaishnavas have a slightly different tilak because they have Sri at the center because they are Sri Vaishnav sampradaya. So they also
But then
focus on
that
Sri.
means that even if you're a Shaivite and you're putting like this,
Hmm.
you put.
Hmm.
So that is not.
So to be honest, I've not done much research in it. But what I know is that Shiva, Lord Shiva, he would put it, and that bhasma would be from actually the ashes from the crematorium,
Crematorium,
right?
red bodies.
To so now आजकल तो for sure कोई crematorium नहीं जाके ला रहा है. So I don't know what that signifies. I'm not sure.
And even Devi is putting the red dot as the Devi's symbol.
So Vaishnava, Sri Vaishnavas, it has the lotus feet of the Lord, and then Sri is at the center. So she's
No, no, I'm
inside,
saying
like
in
of the Lord.
every see, like this is for Vaishnavites. Okay? So even for Shaivites and for a Shakti, who's following Shakti, for them there is a red dot is there.
I don't know
So
about it,
basically, I'm
Mataji.
saying that all that I like that what you the explanation. I think I'm very thankful to you that it symbolizes that you belong to the Lord.
Yeah,
I think that is the key.
that is the key.
That is the
Yeah.
key. That is what I'm saying.
Because rest is
So
all
whether you belong to
interpretation.
Shiva or Shakti.
So I belong to this Lord. This body belongs to the Lord. On a very on a separate note, बोलते हैं कि जिसके भी तिलक और कंठी माला है यमदूत उसको उनके पास नहीं आते. So just like a very frivolous example, but you would have Haribol. Yeah. So you would have seen that there is so often you will have street dogs. Municipality runs a drive to catch hold of the dogs, but the dogs who are wearing like a collar, उनको नहीं spare करते थे. Because they belong to a master. Similarly, it's a way to say I belong to the Lord. Please don't take me to the Lord. Take me to where I belong. Yeah. So affects externals affect internals, right? Wearing dhoti, kurta, sari, tilak, addressing as Prabhuji, Mataji. So actually, let's talk about the first one, right? Dhoti, kurta kyun pehante hain, sari kyun pehante hain? It represents simplicity. That's our culture. That is the Vaishnava culture. Now somehow jeans हमारे jeans में घुस गया है, so it's difficult to take it out. But this is Vaishnava attire, right? But it'll be so nice if there are people who are wearing dhoti kurta. Like ऐसे देख के people get reminded of the Lord, right? So same जैसे for tilak था, it's also a way to remind people that we are following a certain culture and we belong to the Lord. Why should so when we go to the temple also we should be very simply dressed in dhoti kurta sari. Why not ching chang? Why not opulent dressing? Lord opulent है तो उनके उनके जैसे मैचिंग होना चाहिए ना. हम उनके सन है डॉटर है. We sons and daughters get even better things than the parents.
That will inbred you more ego and
You have to go with humility and humbleness.
You have to
Yeah.
be humble.
It's
Yeah.
more about
Not to match God.
you want to suppress the physical.
Yeah,
distractions.
simplicity, simple thing.
Simplicity and humility is
Yeah.
what is.
Simple living, high thinking. And the other reason also is that आप एक simple जाए. Plus, everybody is going to the temple to focus on the Lord. But if you are so opulent, सब लोग सामने नहीं देखे फिर ऐसे पीछे दे. Their purpose of coming to the temple is also
उनकी
destroyed.
tension में रहेंगे कि भाई ये सब पहना है, क्या खराब हो रहा है मेरा क्या
नहीं, फिर वापस आते समय कान में बैठे क्या डिस्कशन होना चाहिए कि did you see the form of the Lord? Did you see the lotus feet? Did you see the anklets? उसके अलावा अरे वो देखा कि क्या उसके the bracelet that she wore वो तनिष्क में मिलता है ना वो वाला डिजाइन चलो जाके खरीदते हैं.
He repeated it.
उस जगह की सैनिटी को
So we have to be very simple. We have to be simple. मतलब ऐसे नहीं कि फटे पुराने कपड़े पहन के जाना है, but we have to be simply
But,
dressed.
what is the significance of choti that men have? What is that?
Yeah, Shikha, I don't understand. I'll get back to you. But
So
it
many
is said,
times that just come to my mind. But
yeah, but there is a very scientific reason for the
And
Shikha.
only men have that, obviously.
Yeah. Women don't keep it.
जगह की सैनिटी को maintain
That's why मैंने ज़्यादा research किया नहीं है, लेकिन शिखा बहुत ज़रूरी होती है. I think I've also heard like when somebody is leaving the body, that's where the Lord pulls something like that. But let me not. ये मैंने research नहीं किया, because मैं शिखा नहीं रखती हूँ तो
Amongst the
इसीलिए.
Muslims, they say that you need a beard to for
Okay.
God to hold you.
Okay. Something like that. But I can get back.
दाढ़ी के बिना फिर आपको पकड़ेगा कैसे भगवान?
So I'll get back on. But there is a scientific reason. It's been mentioned in our scriptures.
But
for
I think they
Shikha
don't
as well.
understand the significance of choti.
Yeah. So a lot of people
That
actually.
is one of the chakras or कुछ होगा उससे.
No, I'm saying there must be some reason. But
There is a reason. There is a
there
scientific
must be a
reason for it, and also it's prescribed in the Shastras.
Yeah.
So those in the path of bhakti even are grihastha devotees, while they are not clean shaven with long shikhas, but they keep a short shikha.
Because if you look at the old ancient, sadhus and all the rishis, either they had long beard and hair and everything, or they had just shaved their head and had the
Yeah.
choti. So it just
Depends on the sampradaya.
depends on the sampradaya.
On what their acharyas have said. Yeah. Second.
कहते छोटी तो ना कोई भी मंदिर में जाओगे जो ब्राह्मण है जो प्रीस्ट है उस मंदिर में चाहे वो कितने ही हो सबके छोटा छोटा रहेगा बाल के बीच में एक शिखा रहेगी.
Yeah.
Really, some but completely
So
shaven
yeah,
and then have a choti.
I'll share the reason, Prabhuji. I'll share the reason. There is a scientific reason for it. Coming to the second point, addressing as Prabhuji and Mataji. Why do we do that?
All
Is-
are equal.
Because you're seeing God in everyone and
So Prabhu means master. So Prabhuji, or addressing as a man as Prabhuji is just giving that respect that, I'm considering myself at a lower position and calling you Prabhu as a master.
Respect.
And I'm taking a position of a servant of the Lord, servant of all parts and parcels. I'm the lowest, I have to serve everyone. So that is serving humanity. First developing that, letting go of that ego and calling Prabhuji. Why Mataji? Actually, this Prabhuji and Mataji, हम लोग ISKCON में ही बोलते हैं.
Now, what is it?
But,
आपको बोलना था कि this is
but
not
actually,
ISKCON.
but actually, it's given in the Vedic scriptures. It is given in the Vedic scriptures that all women, other than your own wife, all women, maybe a small girl also, has to be addressed as mother. Because women deserve to be respected as the mother. But अगर अभी आप कल्चर देखेंगे हमारा माता जी अगर अभी आप कल्चर देखेंगे so it will be women are objectified. Everything that you see in the media, advertising industry, women are objectified. That's not our Vedic culture. In Vedic culture, women are supposed to be addressed as Matajis, as mothers, right? Nothing else, no behenji or anything else, or gudiya, ye wo kuch nahi. Matajis, mother, right? In fact, now people take offense if somebody calls somebody a Mataji. Huh? Mataji दिखती हो क्या? हाँ, आंटी किसको बोल दिया? So don't try it at work or like outside devotee circles.
मैं क्या आंटी लगती हूँ?
So there was, once as a devotee. Now so they were very new that time. So once they came to the ISKCON temple and they had a teenage daughter, very sweet, pretty family. And then one of the brahmacharis there, like a grown-up brahmachari boy, he just said, Mataji, idhar thoda side mein hatiye or something like that. And after that, she started crying. And her mom was like, what happened? What happened? And, so they went home. And later, she told her mom that, she was very worried. What happened? Why did you start crying in the temple? She said, no, this boy, he was there in white clothes and he just came and said, Mataji, idhar hatiye. Do I look like a Mataji? She was a 15-year-old girl, so she was very distressed. कि किसी ने मुझे ऐसे बोला है, do I look like that? And a teenager being addressed that way on a lighter note. But that's our culture. That everybody has to be respected as Mataji. This addressing is very important because it will go into our consciousness. One thing is, it's very difficult to think of every woman as your mother. With our convoluted, polluted thought process is very difficult. But हर बार बोलेंगे तो थोड़ा तो कुछ consciousness में change आएगा ना? कुछ तो फर्क पड़ेगा. Our consciousness will evolve, right? So everybody, all women should be treated as mothers and not as objects. If you see a lot of ills in the society is for this reason, that women are not given the due respect that they should be given. But our Vedic culture was not like this.
Most of the ashrams, in fact, it's a mandatory to call women Mataji.
Ah. Yeah.
And in South, it's Akka and Anna, actually.
Yeah.
In South ashram.
In Gujarat, it is all Bain and Bhai.
But actually, that Behan Bhai is not the right Vedic thing. In the scriptures, it's been given as mother. Like, even in Bengalis, you would say, I grew up in a house, Mamoni. Mamoni. Huh? Mamoni means Mamoni is like jewel, right? So everybody would call, like, even the child would be called a Mamoni, even a Bahu, Beti, Sab. Or Ma also. Everybody is being called Ma. So that is our culture. Hare Krishna. Why greet everyone with Hare Krishna? Hi mein kya problem hai? Yeah, yeah, again, we are reminding each other about the Lord. Isn't that wonderful? Our lives are so busy. We struggle to remember about the. When we go to the temple, it is so struggle to focus on the Lord. Ah, Jai Shri Krishna. Yeah, so always just greeting everyone with the names of the Lord so that we can remind each other. Now, last topic, important one, meaning of Aarti. So, when we are doing deity worship, we also do Aarti. So it's important for us to know what is happening in Aarti. Bhumerapo nalo vayu Khammano buddhirevacha Ahankara iti amme Bhinna prakritirashtatha.
Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these eight constitute my separated material energies. Bhagavad Gita 7.4.
So I was referring to this earlier also a couple of times in the class. So when we offer the Aarti paraphernalia, the different paraphernalia, what we are doing is that ye eight separated energies jo hai of the Lord, we are offering each of those back to the Lord. So let's see, what do we do? And we have to, of course, there is an additional ingredient along with all of that. What is that? Any guesses? Yeah, love and devotion. Without that, offering doesn't matter. The God accepts only, even when he talked about Patra Pushpam Phalam Toim, Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. Whoever offers with love and devotion, that's the secret ingredient. So, blowing conch, doing kirtan, this is offering sound or ether. This also creates positive vibrations in the entire space. Diya, fire. Water conch, we take a conch and we offer water in that, that is water. Flowers, incense, this is earth. Fan, two types of fan that we use, peacock fan, charmer, we are offering air. Obeisances, ego. Meditation, mind. And procedure. So there's a procedure to be followed. Whoever wants to do it the right way. So today, like after the session, I'll be telling about the procedure to some devotees. So if anybody wants to stay and learn, you're happy to, like, please feel free to join. So there's a procedure also that we use. And that's when you're using your intelligence, because that procedure has to be followed. Again, somebody may say, ये प्रोसीजर की क्या जरूरत है? भगवान ने बोला है क्या प्रोसीजर यूज करना है? भाव है तो ठीक है ना, लव एंड डिवोशन ही तो बोला है, लव एंड डिवोशन है बस ऐसे ही एक दिया जला दो, नहीं एक्सेप्ट करेंगे क्या? नहीं करेंगे, करेंगे, वो तो मतलब ही इज वेटिंग टू एक्सेप्ट इवन लिटिल बिट व्हाट वी कैन डू. बट all eight energies we should offer. This all are his material energies, so we should try and offer all the eight energies, and one of them is also intelligence. So therefore, following the procedure for the intelligence. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so using all Panchabhutas in the service of the Lord. Yeah. Guru Parampara. This shows the entire line of spiritual masters before Srila Prabhupada. So this also proves the authenticity. If you see the Bhagavad Gita, actually the entire lineage is given from Krishna all the way up to Prabhupada. Kiske Guru? From Krishna, who next, Brahma, then Narada, then Vyasa, all the way it goes, and Srila Prabhupada has given the entire lineage. So whatever he's saying, it's not he felt कि चलो प्रभु जी माता जी बुलाना शुरू कर देते इसको, and it's all given in the scriptures. So here Bhagavad Gita shloka also talks about that. We can skip that, we're almost on time. Yeah. So central object is bhakti, self-centered versus God-centered. So when we start thinking that the Lord is supplying everything and therefore we have to offer everything back to him, he may also want something. just thinking that way. It doesn't, but what God wants, thinking of that, thinking of what will please the Lord, what will please the Lord. That is being Krishna conscious and doing things with bhakti. And that's when we do all these rituals with this proper information, procedure, as told by the Lord, and with love and devotion. That's when we start seeing the transformation. So this is good. You're coming to satsang. It's a you're getting information, but all this practical is also very important. And we do that. This transformation happens when we follow all these rituals. So again, these three things important: mantra meditation, study of Bhagavad Gita, and please don't miss this course. This is also a very important month where we are doing distributing the Bhagavad Gita. So if any of you feel that Bhagavad Gita has helped you, please distribute Bhagavad Gita. There are various opportunities. We're doing hand to hand distribution, which is like, several places. We put up book stalls. You can come and try and convince other people to buy a Bhagavad Gita. Or if you don't have time for that, you can also do Shastradan. So this week, Vartika Mataji actually did a Shastradan. I'll just end the session. Thank you. So this week, Vartika Mataji, she did